afternoon experiment, uh, late abbreviated edition. Because that's what it is. It's the late and abbreviated edition of the afternoon experiment. Of course, I'm Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until around 5 o'clock, right around 5 o'clock. Come on in. I got a few things that happened while I was away that I want to discuss. A few small things that happened while I was away that I want to discuss. But come in and say hi to me. Come in, just say hi. That's it. You ain't even got to tell me where you're from today. I'm not even going to sweat where you're from today. All right? Robert Willis, I believe from Anderson Township. All right. Yo Underwood, there's 408. Yeah, I sent out the message that it would be 4 o'clock. And then when I got here, I forgot that I turned everything off. Like shut power down to everything. Because you never know what's going to happen out of town. So I shut power down. So I had to turn everything back on and then go back in and readjust settings and everything. Picture doesn't look as, the way I would like it to look. But it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. Let's see. We got Brandy. Hey, what's up, Greedy? David, good afternoon. Little baby is not here. She is not feeling well. She had the ear infection when we left, but come to find out she had infection in both ears. And they had taken her, well, not taken her. She got ear infection in both ears. So she's not feeling great. So she's not here. She didn't go to school. And, she chilling. But yeah, no little baby today. Fame. Say missed the show over the holidays. Ron says, if it'll show. I don't show it. Says, what's up, Eve? Did you have a good vacation? I'll talk about that in a moment. What's up, Ron? Got Maria. Oh, in Florida. All right. Florida vacation. You can't beat that. Anytime you can get away from the cold, that's a good thing. Anthony, good afternoon. Yo Underwood. He says, all right. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up, making it all right. Daryl says, good almost evening. Y'all some haters. Stop hating. Let's see. Crystal, good afternoon. Rini, good afternoon. Diane, good afternoon. Yo Underwood talking nonsense. Sierra from Massachusetts. All right. Yeah, Queen of Talk. She got the little ear infections. She cool. Like she still wanted, can I use your phone? No, you can lay down and rest. That's what you can do. No, you don't need to be watching YouTube. No. Let's see. Tony, what's up, Tony? I enjoyed the trip. I'll talk about that first and then get into a couple things real quick. Scott, good afternoon. Crystal says, hope she feel better. Thank you. Let me see. Somebody checking in from Forest Park. Crystal. Oh, Crystal checking in from Forest Park. All right. Brenda checking in from Fairfield. Hello, Brenda. Pamela, good afternoon. From North Avondale. Dwayne, good afternoon. Ruby, good afternoon. Daryl says him and the wife going on a cruise to Jamaica. All right. Is it still hurricane season? I don't remember. I went on a cruise once during hurricane season and a hurricane hit. And so they said we had to go around the hurricane. And that was when we got back. Houston was flooded. And that's how long ago that's been. Houston was flooded. But yeah, being on a ship in a hurricane, the waters get rough. I actually enjoyed it. So hopefully you have a good time. Nat Turner, good afternoon. JB. Nat says he checking in from Madville. a jam rock reggae cruise. All right. I'm not a reggae person. I think I'm one of the few people who don't like reggae. I don't like reggae. I like singing. You don't hear a lot of singing in reggae. I mean, I know what they're doing is kind of singing, but it's not singing. It's more rhythmically talking. Somewhere in between rap and singing is where a lot of the reggae stuff is. But, nothing wrong with that. Laughter is the best medicine. Let her watch funny videos on YouTube. No. She need to just lay her behind down and rest. And so that's what I make her do. Janice. Hey, Janice. I bet you told her when you were sick, you had to stay in bed and didn't get to play. No. They brought her over, and they brought her over for me to take her to school. Because apparently while we were gone, she'd had a fever and, she was feeling really bad. And so she was a little better by yesterday. So they brought her over for me to take her to school. And when she came over, she got up on the couch and she laid down and she just went straight to sleep, which she never does. She's always, up and about and, being annoying with all that little kid energy. If it was a place where you could just take the batteries out sometimes, just where do the batteries go in? Just take the batteries out. Well, I don't like that. I mean, I know I say it kind of jokingly, but it was like somebody took the batteries out of her yesterday when they brought her over, and she laid down and she just went to sleep. And just even the way she looked when she was asleep, she looked uncomfortable. So I was trying to wake her up. She woke up, but she didn't have that energy. So I was like, no, you're not going to school today. You're not going to school today. So yeah, she was fine. And then she was like, okay, I'm not going to school. Can I use your phone? No, you can lay back down and go to sleep. And normally she kind of gripe and complain about it. Why can't I use the phone? But yesterday she was just like, okay. And almost immediately she was right back to sleep. I was like, yeah, no, she needs sleep. She needs herself some rest. Shahira. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon from Bond Hill. Working from home today. Not feeling too good. Oh, I hate to hear that. Maybe Lincoln can help you out. Because you be all on him. All on his job. No, I'm just teasing you. You do, but I'm just teasing you about it. Because, remember I had said the thing about his child? And you was like, well, why bring it up? Why even bring it up? That he brought it up, and I didn't see no texts or messages from you. Like, why are you bringing that up? People bring stuff up just because they bring it up. That's what happens. Angela Kinney, good afternoon. Jason, that's an awful lot of gray. It's an awful lot of gray. I need to cut it again. So when I cut it, the gray is not as pronounced. I guess because it's not as much there because it's cut. But no, I'm not doing the Beijing. I was somewhere and I saw somebody who had Beijing, and I'm just like, your head is black, dude. Like, yeah, it dyed your hair, but they also dye the head a little bit, and then they shape it up. So if you look closely, their head is black. And so the shape up, it be looking crispy and clean. And from a distance, you like, all right. And then when you get up on them, you like, hold on, his head is black. I can see his head is black. I don't want my head to be black. I'll take my gray. The plumber. You got to do some plumbing when you go to Vegas. Angela said, yes, still hurricane season. All right, let me get into this. Because somebody else is saying, how was your vacation? All right, I was in Vegas for a week. Close to a week. We left out Monday, got back Saturday evening-ish. And I enjoyed myself. We stayed down in, I can't even remember the name of the place now. Basically, Old Vegas. There's a street, begins with an F. Can't think of what it's called now. But we stayed at a hotel down there, the D. Says I stayed there in honor of my man Dave Stinger. Uh, but yeah, we stayed down there. They've done an amazing job with that old strip. It was good. It was fun. It was lively. If you've never been, Las Vegas is definitely an international city. So many cultures and so much to do. I don't gamble. I thought about sitting at the blackjack table for a little while. I thought about sitting at the blackjack table. They wanted too much money. I'm not trying to, like, it's a $25 minimum. It was some tables that was like a $5 minimum, which ain't really a $5 minimum because it's a $5 minimum. And then it's another $2 that you got to put up. So it's really a $7 minimum. And I'm like, I don't want to play one hand and then lose. And then that be that. But I enjoy watching people gamble. So I watched a lot of people gamble, learned some stuff. And, maybe one day I'll go back and I specifically took money to gamble, but I just couldn't bring myself to gamble my money away. I just couldn't do it. I could not bring myself, Fremont Street. Thank you. Thank you, Ruby. I could not bring myself to give those people my money. I was like, I'll figure out something else to do with the money. Went to Nacho Daddy's a few times. Nacho Daddy, they got some good nachos. So, and ate at a few different, the casinos here and there. I just couldn't bring myself to give them my money. But we went to the Strata, and that's or Stratus. I'm not sure. I don't remember which. I think it's Strata. But we rode the rides on the Strata, and, they're the ones, it's like way up in the air. I don't remember how high. It's ridiculously high. And rode the roller coaster thing that takes you over the edge, kind of dip you there, bring you back, take you there, dip you there, bring you back. Do it about 4 or 5 times. It was pretty scary. I'm not a heights person. I'm not a person who likes heights. So, but I was like, I'll do it. And then we rolled. It's got the little needle, like the Space Needle, and it shoots you up, almost like that slingshot ride. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that was what it did. Like, I didn't watch the little video for what it was. So I thought it was kind of like a drop zone thing where they gonna slowly take you up and then drop you down. No, that bad boy. And she tried to trick us with the countdown. But I wasn't really paying no attention to the countdown because I'm like, I don't care when we start going up. Is you gonna give me a countdown for when we about to drop? And she was like 3, 2, and then we shot up. Oh my goodness. It was so fun. I liked it. I never thought I would like that, but I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So we did that. And we did a few things, went to all of the casinos, hit all the casinos. I just wanted to say, I've been there. That was it. I just wanted to say, I've been there. So when I see a fight at the MGM Grand, I can be like, I've been there. When I see something going on at Caesar's Palace, I can say, I've been there. When I see, what I'm saying? That was it. So we hit all the casinos. And, that's that. Had a good time hanging out. I kind of went live for a few minutes during the Flo Rida concert. Can I just say, that dude really only got like 2 songs. No, I mean, period. Not just 2 popular songs. He only got 2 songs. He only got 2 songs because all of his songs are the exact same. Now, I can't tell you what he's saying in any of the songs. I can't tell you what he's saying, but it's all the same beat. That kind of, I want to call it technotronic kind of house beat with a lot of noise in it, and then pause. And go, 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 go. And that, that was his whole show. He'll be doing his rap and his little hype boys behind him. The one had took off his shirt and his little hype boys behind him. And then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, jump. And then everybody jump. And that was the host. And them brothers can count to 3. That I can tell you. If I don't know nothing else about them, them brothers can count to 3. Because on every song, for every time I guess it's the chorus in the rap. Every time the chorus came around, they counted you in. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, jump. And they jump. And that was the whole show. That was the whole show. Him rapping, saying stuff that I couldn't understand. That's what it sounded like to me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, jump. They got their cardio in. That I can tell you. But that was it. That was it. I had a good time. Enjoyed all of the street performers, who some of them literally do nothing. When I say literally do nothing, we would be walking by like, what is he doing? It was one dude. I'm not kidding. I should have recorded it because people won't believe me. They had these little circles that they had to stay in, the street performers, and they put their little thing out for tips. And dude legit just laid in his circle. That's it. I don't know if he had a hard day before or whatever, but he came down, he laid in his circle like, a homeless person. Laid in his circle, and people was walking by giving him tips. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? How is that a talent? I can do that. I can lay down. I don't need no extra training. I can lay down, but he got tips for it. I will say the homeless problem out there is crazy. Crazy. Like crazy. Homeless people everywhere. Everywhere. Well, they kind of keep them off of Fremont Avenue, but right off of Fremont Avenue, they right there. Homeless people. And as we was driving around the city, homeless people. Look to your left, homeless people. Look to your right, homeless people. There's a whole city of homeless people. Oh, that's the homeless people neighborhood. We drove through there. It was horrible. Horrible. It's like, how can people be homeless? When we were walking on the strip, just homeless people just laying down, sleep, just homeless. I was like, oh my God, these people crazy. Because I would be working somewhere. They had hiring signs. I would be working somewhere. I definitely would be trying. And they wasn't just like old people. It was like young, able-bodied persons just chilling, homeless. So I was like, man, that was kind of sad. It's a downer. It's a downer. But, it is what it is, I guess. I don't live there. I feel bad for the people. I wish somebody would do something about it. But, oh well. Let me see somebody. Brendan says people be on Facebook begging now. They go live and post a Cash App. And if you don't send them a Cash App and they peep you in the comments or watching, they block you on Facebook. This world going crazy. Yeah, it's a lot of homelessness out there. But other than that, like I said, we had a good time. I enjoyed it. I would go back. Next time I go back, I'm actually gonna do a little bit of gambling. I think. I just can't bring myself to just give somebody my money for nothing. I'm giving you my money, and in return, you're doing nothing. You flipping some cards, or I was gonna hit the roulette wheel. It's like, that's such a. I'll pass. So I just didn't do it. Other than that, what happened while I was gone? Dr. Odell Owens passed away. And y'all know, I was at the, hold on, you were so right. It don't make sense how they just lay down on the sidewalk like it's nothing. Yeah, like it was nothing. Hold on, Jason says, you might win, silly. Might win. There's a good chance I won't win. And I just was not in the mood to just give my money away. I just wasn't in the mood. I just wasn't. Did you solve your Madden dilemma? I did. It wasn't a great solution, but I played NBA Jam while they were playing Madden because the house that we were at for Thanksgiving, he had a like an arcade. So I just played video games while they watched the NFL in there and while they played Madden over there. So I didn't end up watching them play Madden, and I didn't watch any NFL, and I didn't watch any NBA. Even though I played NBA Jam, which I was a little conflicted about, but I was like, these guys don't even play no more because it was the old retro NBA Jam. So, yeah, I made it through. I made it through. Jason says, you're boring. I had a good time. Me and Mrs. Livingston had a good time. She don't gamble either. And I was trying to get her to gamble. I would have been cool if she would have took, $500 and went and gambled. That was what I had allocated for her to gamble because I know she don't gamble. So I told her, I brought $500 specifically for you to gamble. I don't care what you gamble on. You got to spend $500. She wouldn't do it. So she didn't do it. Let's see. You give your money with the hope of winning. That's all right. We just came home with the money. Oh, she's boring too. Well, we had a good time. But Dr. Odell Owens passed away. I want to say to Dr. Odell Owens' family, my condolences to Dr. Odell Owens. Y'all know I had beef with Dr. Odell Owens for a while. Not like me and him personal beef, but I had beef with Dr. Odell Owens. When he was the coroner, I would be like, man, why won't he ever say that police killed this dude? Every police intervention death, he would be like, yeah, that person was going to die anyway. That heart anyway. So what? He tasered him in the chest, right in the heart area, and he had a heart attack. He would have had a heart attack anyway. And I would be like, what the heck is he talking about? This daggone Dr. Owens, he don't like black people. But I talked to Dr. Odell Owens. Because y'all know me. If I got beef with you and I see you, I'm going to be like, yo, Dr. Odell Owens, why won't you say any of these people was killed by the police? And we had a conversation about it. And he's like, you know what? Based on, and he started doing all that doctor talk, based on all of these circumstances, that's the reason that I said what I said. And, I'm not, in essence, he want to be as medically accurate as possible. And after he was kind of explaining it to me, I respected his position on it. I still didn't like it. And of course, I told him as much. I didn't like it, but, it was cool. And then we were talking one day, and I forget how it came up, and my grandmama came up. We started talking about my grandmama. And he was like, Miami, because that was my grandmama, Miami Castleberry. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, that's your grandmama? And I'm like, yes. And he said, so how? Like, who's your? And I said, my mama, Helen. And he was like, wait, Shorty is your mama? And I was like, yeah. And he said, Miami raised me. Miami raised me. Like, she raised me. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yes. And he's like, we not related by blood, but we related now, And so, after that, me and Dr. Odell Owens was like cool in the mug, basically because he knew my grandmama. So, yeah, I when I heard him on Monday, I was in the airport, really getting ready to cut. Lincoln went show off, waiting for the ride to come and pick us up. And I heard Dr. Owens on, and, I didn't like what he was saying. Talking about somebody eventually giving birth to themselves. But I was like, come on, Dr. Owens, that ain't nobody giving birth to themselves. But, it was good to hear him. And then a couple days later, I got up and turned on my phone and look at Facebook, and Dr. Odell Owens passed. I'm like, what? Oh, man, that's horrible. So yeah, my condolences to his family, and it is a loss. It is a loss for, a lot of people who loved and cared about the man. And you kind of got to respect that. You kind of got to respect that. So, yeah, I somebody said, wait a minute, wait a minute, where is it? Valerie says, who don't you have beef with? I don't have beef with a lot of people, but my beef is different than I guess other people's beef for the most part. Like I said, I had beef with him just in the sense, that's the term I use when I've disagreed with something that you had to say. And I'm like, when I see him, I'm going to ask him about that. I'm going to ask him, why did he say that? Or I'm going to ask him, why did he do that? To me, the beef is in my head. Like I said, why are you anti-black people? What is going on? And I will ask you. So yeah, if you, Valerie, said something that I didn't, and especially if you were a public figure and you said something that I didn't like or, didn't appreciate or didn't understand, when I see you, I'm going to be like, why would you say that? Explain to me the rationale behind this. And typically, people who are public figures, if you ain't coming at them crazy, they don't mind explaining it to you. And y'all might disagree, but like I said, I'm a reasonable person. So while I still didn't agree with him, I understood where he was coming from. And I still didn't agree with him. But, we able to be reasonable adults with one another. And that's why people say agree to disagree. I don't know that we agreed to disagree. I agreed that he was wrong and he believed he was right. And we was both cool with that. But yeah, so nah, there's nothing, that's how I beef with people. That's how I beef with people. I thought you were gonna say something different when you brought up Dr. Odell Owens and your mother. Yeah, nah, he knew my mama growing up. A lot of people knew my mama growing up. Same Wilbur Longmire. Same with him. We were talking and we were talking about music and all of that kind of stuff. And, I had gone over his house and sat in on one of his rehearsals. And it was interesting because, he had all these young guys, musicians behind him. And, he didn't know I sang. And he jokingly asked me to sing something as if I wouldn't. And I grabbed the mic and started singing. He was like, oh, you can sing. Why don't you come and do this show with me? And I'm like, blah, stop playing. Because I wasn't going to do it. But we got to talking and he was like, I forget how it came up again. And he was like, wait, Shorty was your mama? And I'm like, yeah. And he like, oh, Shorty is my cousin. Like we grew up. And I'm like, I had no idea. But my brothers and sisters reminded me a long time ago that my mom and them told us when he had that one song out, what was it? Music Speaks Louder Than Words or whatever. And when he had that song out and it would come on the radio, she would always apparently tell us that was our cousin. I'll be blowing that stuff off like, yeah, whatever. Michael Jackson, our cousin too. Yeah, whatever. But yeah. So yeah. And what'd you say? He called her Shorty. That was what they called her. That was her nickname. Shorty. Like legit. Everybody called her Shorty. Everybody that I run into. Mom passed away years ago. I can't even remember how many years ago. I don't remember what year she passed away. But mom passed away so many years ago. And one of the most awkward things that happens when, somebody who they had lost touch or whatever, I ran into a woman. This was probably about 3 years ago. And she kind of tied 2 and 2 together. And, oh, Shorty's your mom? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, how is she doing? And I'm like, Mom passed away probably about 15 years ago. But it was like new to her. It was brand new. So she entered the grieving and I'm sitting there like, it was 15 years ago, and she's crying. Oh my God, I can't believe she's gone. Oh, I can't believe she's gone. Now, of course, a part of me is like, she's been gone for like 15 or so years. Like, yeah, I wasn't that close. But you know how people just lose touch with people, and you're like, oh, one of these days I'll see them, whatever, whatever. And oh my goodness, she just like broke down, and I felt a little guilty because I wasn't breaking down. You know, that I've dealt with it for 15 years, but like I said, for her, it was brand new. It just happened. She was crying and everything, and then she came in for a hug. It was an older lady. No disrespect to older people. And she came in for a hug, and I'm like, okay, you know. So it was just when, but she knew a lot of people. A lot of people knew her, and that's what they knew her as, was Shorty. But yeah, condolences to the Owens family. Condolences to the Owens family. I like Dr. Owens. He was a good dude. And you know, I don't have to agree with everything that you say or do. And just because I don't agree with it, don't mean you don't care about black people, even though sometimes that's how I feel about it. Like, if I don't agree with you and I love black people, if I don't agree with you, you don't like black people. Why don't you like black people? That's how I be feeling. What else happened while I was gone? Jerry Jones. Well, this didn't happen while I was gone. This happened long before I was born. But they found a picture of Jerry Jones trying to stop some black people from getting an education. And people were shocked about it. I don't understand why people were shocked about it. But people were shocked about it. There's nothing shocking about that. The way I see it, there's a really good chance that a lot of older people are racist. In particular, older white people. A lot of older white people are racist. Now, of course, my issue was all of the black people taking up for Jerry Jones. Oh my goodness. Will y'all stop? Will y'all stop? Look, ain't nobody gonna take up for you. Be they an athlete, be they a rich person, be they a poor person. Ain't nobody gonna take up for you if you get out there and get exposed. Why do some of y'all go out of y'all way to take up for these people like, I don't know what to say, like they own you or something, like that's what you're getting paid to do. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith was one. My man Fame. I saw Fame on there kind of taking up for Jerry Jones. And I understand the idea of Myosha, who in the hell is surprised by Jerry Jones being a racist. I understand that. I don't know that anybody's surprised, but when it's put out there in your face, you're like, whoa, really? And then, of course, you know, he lies. He lies. No doubt in my mind, he's lying. I was just curious. He was only 14. He was only 14. You weren't curious about stuff at 14? Oh no. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Because when I graduated, I was 17. Which means when I was 14, I was in what? The 10th grade? 9th grade? 10th grade? I think I was initially in the 4th grade. Initially at 14, I was in the 10th grade. Then, of course, I turned 15 in the 10th grade. By the 10th grade, I knew what racism was. I wasn't curious about racism. By the 10th grade. Now, okay, I'll give him 9th grade, Samuel. I'll give him 9th grade. You know, I got that September birthday. And so, you know, first month or two of the 10th grade, I was 14, and then I turned 15. So I'll give him the 9th grade. You're in high school. You know what racism is. You know what you're doing when you're going somewhere to block someone from going to school because of the color of their skin. By the time you are in the 9th grade, to some degree, you done decided what kind of person you want to be, especially if you're a racist. Like, if you're like, I didn't turn into a racist until my junior year in high school. I don't think that that's a story that you're going to hear very often. No, you were a racist before then. You weren't just curious. Like, I'm racist curious. No. He had already made up his mind. I don't want to be around them ends. I don't want to be around them ends. And I keep hearing people say, well, nothing should happen to him because this is one of the excuses that they're giving. And this is the one that I keep hearing. And it's vexing me. Nothing should happen to him because, he was 14 in, what was it, whatever year it was, in the South. He was raised to be that way. So what you expect? So that means nothing should happen to him? Y'all do know that they literally still hunt Nazis from the 40s. They still look for, and if they find, they will still prosecute Nazis. B-Rap says 1957. They will still prosecute. You think the Nazis can use the excuse, well, I was young and it was Nazi Germany, so what you expect? And okay, you're right. You were young. It was Nazi Germany. What else did we expect? Go home. No, we don't care. We don't care how long ago it was. And we don't care where it was. That didn't make it okay. That didn't make it okay. So for all of y'all he was only 14 and it was the South. So nothing should happen to him. That don't excuse anything. Being 14 and in the South excuses nothing. Now, there is a little bit of flaw in the argument that some people are making. Well, they did this to Kyrie Irving, so what they gonna do to Jerry Jones? Two different leagues. You can't necessarily match what one league does in terms of punishment with what another league does in terms of punishment. You can't do that. But something should happen. Something should happen. That's the way I feel about it. And it's not based on my understanding. I don't follow the Cowboys. I never have. I don't know why I never liked the Cowboys. Before Jerry Jones, when the one dude used to walk around with the hat, Landry, I was a little kid. I never liked the Cowboys. So I don't really follow them like that. But I've been listening a little bit. Just a little bit. Because keep in mind, I was on vacation in Vegas. So I wasn't paying that much attention. But I listened a little bit. And he never hired no black coach. That ain't an accident. But, a lot of teams have never hired a black coach. But you can kind of tell. And it sounds crazy. But you can kind of tell that dude is a racist. You can kind of tell. Nobody had to tell. I didn't have to see the picture. I didn't have to any of that kind of stuff. If you would have asked me before I left for Vegas, before the picture came out, you think Jerry Jones is a racist? I'd have been like, think it. No. I'm certain of it. But, that's just in my mind, I would be certain of it. I can't prove it. Except for now that we have photographic evidence of the fact that the dude is a racist. But yeah, everybody, all of these black people making these excuses. Look, let the white people make the excuses for him. If the heat get turned up, there's enough white people to make excuses for him. You don't have to do it for him. What do you get out of making excuses for white racism? I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand it. You get a check? Are they paying you? That would still be, some sellout money, but At least you could then be like, oh, man, I get this check. Like I'm a consultant. I'm like your Negro tour guide, but for, I do it to Negroes for white people. Yeah, shout out Kathy Y. Wilson. I only met her once. She was nice to me, and I enjoyed the short conversation that we had. So to her family as well, condolences. But like, what do you get from it? I don't understand. Let white people defend white people. They're gonna do it. They don't need you. You just make what? It's the idea in my mind is, well, I'm black. So if I defend this white person, you're not convincing black people. All you're really doing is making white people more comfortable defending them. Because y'all know what they do. Y'all know what they say. Well, he defended Jerry Jones and he's black. What does that mean? That's all that means to other white people is black people may not think Jerry Jones is that bad. So it's okay to defend him. Initially, they might have heard it and said, oh my God, they got photographic evidence. Oh my God. I guess he can't deny being a racist anymore. He can't deny it. And then you get up there. Oh yeah, Jerry Jones, he not really no racist, he was born in. And they like, oh, Raheem said that it's okay. So, Jerry, we can still defend him. That's all that you accomplish. Trust me, you're not convincing me. You're not convincing any right-thinking black person. So what are you doing it for? Uh-oh. Let me answer this line. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. How are you doing?
Hi, man. My name's Fame.
Oh, boy. Hi, Fame.
Yeah, some people said you had said my name. I was just wondering what the hoopla was about.
You frustrated me so defending Jerry Jones, and I just want to know, because I really don't, if you want to rehash it a little bit, we can, but I really just want to know, what do you get out of it?
Hold on. So you mean to tell me while you was on vacation, you was thinking about me? Little old Fame?
Bro, we went back and forth on Facebook. You know I was thinking about you. We were fussing on Facebook.
I'm sorry, did you say fussing?
Yes.
I'm gonna need some better diction. You was on vacation with your wife, so be careful. I need better diction.
Fussing.
When you talking, all right?
We were fussing. I don't know what.
Thank you.
We were fussing.
I couldn't really. I think what I'm saying. I'm on a cell phone, and sometimes some consonants come out. I couldn't really tell.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Oh.
However,
that's funny. I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, I heard it. I was like, hold on. Let me make sure that this is the brother who I thought it was, the so-called king.
Yes,
However, though, I was not defending Jerry Jones. What I simply said was what you said. I ain't tripping on that. A 15-year-old doing something like that. And I clearly stated that if he was a part of the violence, the threats, then that's a whole nother story.
Well, hold on. He was clearly a part of the threats. Standing there, intimidating people is a part of the threat.
What I meant by that is he actually actively doing something to people?
He was actually actively doing something.
Just standing there talking greasy as a 15-year-old. 15-year-olds make bad decisions.
Oh my goodness.
This has been known through history. 15-year-olds make bad decisions.
Well, let me ask you this, because I brought it up earlier. So would you say that same thing about someone who was in Hitler's youth? they were really young, and you would say, well, yeah, he might have committed an atrocity, but he was only 15. He made a bad decision, so it ain't that big of a deal.
What you mean? What atrocity did he commit? Was he going around nigger knocking, or was he killing people?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what exactly did he do as a 15-year-old? That's all I'm saying.
Okay, let's just say.
Hold
on. Let's just say, as a 15-year-old, he was out harassing Jewish people in Nazi Germany as they were carted off to a concentration camp. He was standing there with his other group of Hitler youth, just harassing them. Are you okay with that? That's okay with you? Because he was young.
Harassing them or knocking them off?
I'm not sure what you mean when you say knocking them off.
Killing them.
No, he didn't kill them. No.
He's just harassing them, talking greasy?
Yes.
I personally, I'm willing to live with that as a 15-year-old.
Okay.
Because Lord knows some of the stuff I did at 15 probably was even worse.
Well.
And it don't need to be out there.
But you're different than me.
I'm not going to judge the guy.
Because at 15,
I'm not going to judge the guy.
At 15, I never attempted to racially intimidate someone to keep them from getting an education. Never.
Well, you didn't have to.
And I wouldn't have.
It wouldn't have been in your day in the in the late 80s, early 90s.
But I wouldn't have done it.
I don't know about that.
I know about that.
I've heard some of your statements, and you clearly have a complex against people over 5'8". I mean, I'm just saying. I never jokes or insult you.
I never.
It's fairly visceral.
I don't have a complex against anyone over 5'8" or whatever. I never harassed anyone based on their race, their gender, their height. Maybe their, like lack of intellectual acuity or something like that. But other than that, I never tried to stop anybody from getting an education. And I definitely never tried to intimidate someone based on the color of their skin. And by the time I was in the 10th grade, I knew right from wrong.
Right. Exactly.
So he knew right from wrong.
I know 15-year-olds that raised holy hell when the 49 got rerouted permanently.
Okay.
Because of a schedule change from Metro. Things
This
happen.
still sound to me like you're making excuses for why it's okay for Jerry Jones to attempt to keep black. Have you ever really stopped and looked at those old photos of when the kids were trying to go to school, be it at Alabama or in Arkansas or whatever, and you stop and you look at those photos and just focus on one person and think, what is going through that person's head while they're screaming and threatening these young people that did nothing wrong except try to get an education? Have you ever really just looked at one of those photos?
Well, yes, I have. And looking at it through today's lens, there's a part of me that can say, well, this is kind of what effed us up. Integration. Trying to get with them so damn much. If I want to make that argument, but I'm not. I'm going to keep it on this, what you're talking about, so we can keep it germane so we can keep it germane and we can keep it succinct here. The thing is, let me ask you this, this. Who's older? You or what's his name? The guy. What's your brother from Toledo?
He's a year older than I am.
Okay, if he was out rallying, saying he doesn't want all these white kids from the west side going to Aiken or wherever y'all went to high school at, talking greasy like that, you would have rolled right with him.
No,
I don't believe that. Jerry is just he was just a 15-year-old, probably taking marching orders from his older brother or his parents.
Well, look, if he would have said, look, I was a 15-year-old taking marching orders from my older brother or from my parents, then maybe you could make that argument. But that's not what he said. He said, oh, I was just walking by, saw a dog fight and thought, I'm curious about what's going on. Like, that's the excuse he made. Like, I had no idea what was going on. I just happened to be standing in a crowd of people who were trying to intimidate black people from getting an education. And I thought, this is curious. Nobody, no reasonable person believes that.
Just like you said that, yeah, you're right. I didn't believe that. I didn't believe. Oh, no, you ain't got to lie like that. Don't insult us. But like I said, if you give me some proof, not even reasonable doubt proof, for a criminal case, I'm talking about civil case proof, 50.5%. What is that called? A preponderance of the evidence. And we're all about there because we know he was there. Mm-hmm. We're almost at that preponderance.
We
might even have it already.
Yes, reasonable people are.
I think I'm reasonable, and I'm trying to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Like if you show a rock in his hand, him fingering, putting a finger in somebody's face, anything like that, then it's a different issue. But even that still picture, I mean, his handlers, they handled it perfectly because it really does look curious.
No, he doesn't.
He looks curious, like, oh, well, what's going on?
What is wrong with you?
Like, oh, wow, those are actually black people walking. I've never seen one before in my life.
Oh, my goodness.
He doesn't look threatening and menacing.
What do you get out of this? That's all I really want to know. What do you get out of it? Now, you've spun this story to where he was just an innocent, curious little boy.
I never once said that.
You just said it. Dude, look at the picture.
All I am simply saying is that a 15-year-old kid was on the wrong side of history. That's all. That's all we know. A 15-year-old was on the wrong side of history. We got to give the youth some discretion, and serve that to youthful indiscretion.
No, that's youthful.
He made a bad choice of chilling with them folk, which is what every black mother goes down to 800 Broadway to the juvenile courthouse.
Just curious.
Or when they get bound to 1000 Main.
Wait, so I'm curious.
To the Justice Center, and they're all saying the same thing. My baby's just running with the wrong people.
And here's my curiosity. How many of those black kids do you give the benefit of the doubt to? Like you on Facebook, like crazy, defending this dude. You on this show, and I'm sure you've been on other shows, defending this dude. When this happened to one of those black kids down at the Justice Center, where are you defending them? Because it sounds like you're real good at defending white people, but I'm like, where are you with the black people?
I defended every black child that was under some bull crap like that, except for the North College Hill cats. I thought they were raging dickheads. Okay? Everybody else, I was with them. Like, they probably did just get caught up with the wrong people.
No, you say you were with them, but where can I find your statements outwardly expressing that we should just move on and forget whatever they've done because they're just young people making youthful indiscretions? Where can I find?
I never said just move on. Remember, the caveat is, can we prove that he was definitely in some violence? We just know he was at the scene. That's why we don't have an arrest in the Biggie murder. We've got a clear suspect, the bow tie guy. The two people who were with Biggie identified him to the cop, but we don't have enough evidence to arrest him because nobody saw the shooter. They only noticed this guy was there.
But Fame, yes, but again, you're not really listening, or maybe I haven't clearly articulated my position and my question to you.
I think it's the latter.
I'm not saying that he should be arrested. That's not the argument that I'm making. I'm not even making the argument that he should be suspended or receive some discipline. But do I personally think he should? Sure. But I'm not making that argument. The argument that I'm making is not about what he did, how he did it, or when he did it, or what will happen to him. The argument that I'm making is, why do you feel the need to go out of your way to defend it? Why are you defending this white man?
I'm just like, what is all the hubbub about? A 15-year-old in 1957 on the wrong side of history when we got civil rights leaders who turn around and become cops.
Hold on, but Fame.
We got bigger fish to fry.
Fame. So then, why
Yes, sir.
not just have that thought and keep it to yourself? Why do you have
Because
to
it's
openly?
Facebook, I can talk all the shit I want.
But I understand you can, but why do you going out of your way to defend this guy? Why?
I'm not defending the guy.
Let people.
What I want to know, I think what's more pertinent is, how the hell can Fame Rothstein, a known sports bet gambler, investor, how could he affect your vacation on a holiday? You mean to tell me I got that type of cachet with you?
Well, when I go on my Facebook page and I see somebody going out of their way to defend this white man who definitely wouldn't go out of his way to defend you. He would, even if he
did that
thought
for Michael Irvin.
Even if he thought you were innocent, you know what he'd say? He'll figure it out.
Michael Irvin was supposed to do 10 years for attempted murder.
You're not Michael Irvin.
Teammate in the neck.
You're not Michael Irvin.
Exactly. So Michael Irvin gave him a service, so he rewarded that.
What service? So what service did Jerry Jones give you?
An NFL team that is fun to watch. Like he said, when Michael Irvin was in court for another case where he was involved in some.
I don't know why you keep bringing up Michael Irvin. You're not Michael Irvin.
It doesn't care. I'm just. It's just a case study.
A case study.
Like Jerry Jones said, bring me the circus.
Okay,
you wanted to be in the game. Now he's in the game.
All right. I don't even know what you're talking about now.
I don't know what you're talking about. Asking me
why you go out of your way to defend the white racist.
I didn't care. I was just simply saying that this is not a hill worth dying over.
So then don't even talk. You don't even have to. If you're like, look, this is nothing, then you just ignore it. But you're not just ignoring it. You're going out of your way to defend this man. That's what I don't understand.
My Facebook post. I'm defending. Somebody said that the talk show host was talking about my Facebook page, and I was like, "Oh, really?" I forgot to get back into the show because I started doing something after the after the intro and whatnot. Started doing something else, and somebody said, "Yeah, the nigga talking greasy about you." Blah blah blah. So I just wanted to clear it up. That's all, brother.
Well, that's not it, but I appreciate it. The fact there was no reason for you to even make the Facebook post. That's the point that I'm making. If it's nothing,
it's my Facebook post. You can't say what you can't. What is that?
That's me. That's
page.
Me trying to understand. That's why these are questions. I need to understand. At some point, I need to understand the mentality that says, oh, white man in trouble. I got to go defend him, be it on Facebook, be it on YouTube, be it on a talk show, or just be it at the dinner table with your significant other. You know what I'm saying? Why?
Is your name Emanuel or Embellish? Which is it?
Neither, actually. It's Emanuel.
So it's Emanuel, but it should be embellished then, because you're embellishing what I said on Facebook. I was like, guys, stay woke. It's essentially what I'm saying. This ain't that big of an issue. Move on.
How you gonna tell? Now wait a minute. You telling me how I'm gonna tell you what to post, but you telling people to move on from an issue that they believe to be important. So you got a right to tell people to move on from talking about a racist white man, but nobody got a right to tell you to stop defending that racist white man.
I didn't defend him. I'm clarifying situation because I gave a hell of a caveat on it, and it was clear as day.
Apparently not.
Was it not?
No.
Was there not a clear caveat?
No.
Okay.
You're defending the man. You defending the man was there to intimidate black people, to stop them from going to that school to get their education. That is intimidation. They didn't show up to throw him a parade. That's not what they were doing there. Clearly, they were there to intimidate them.
So, therefore, 15-year-olds, again, make bad decisions. I'll tell you, a very notorious 15-year-old or even slightly older who made a bad decision that was in this town. I'm familiar with him. We're good on Facebook.
Not the point.
Farron Crosby.
Not
very
the
productive
point.
Young man. It is the point.
It's not the point.
15-year-olds make bad decisions.
So hold on. So let me ask you this.
Recover.
All right. When the whole Farron Crosby, because I remember that. I don't remember hearing a lot of, because we didn't have social media back then. I remember listening to 700. I didn't hear a whole lot of white people. Actually, I didn't hear any white people defending Farron Crosby, saying, hey, y'all, he didn't do nothing wrong. Just move on. White people didn't do that for that black man, but you as a black man feel compelled to do it for the white man.
No, I'm not. I never once defended him. That's the whole thing. That's the thing that's chapping me. Like,
anytime you tell, look, here's how you're defending him. If there's some pressure on him to explain his actions, and then you walk up and you say, hey, y'all, move on. That's a defense of him. You're defending him. Well, I'm not saying what he said was okay, but you're telling everybody just ignore it, move on from it. It's not important. That's defense.
It's another distraction. It's another distraction. More distractions. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But
brother.
Why? You don't even have to say that. If it's just a distraction, then don't be distracted. Why not? Why would you not say?
Why do I not have to say that? Because
I didn't say you're not allowed.
By anything.
I didn't say you're not allowed. You're allowed to say whatever you want to say, which is why I'm trying to understand why you feel compelled to. Why do you think white people didn't feel compelled to say anything about Farron Crosby when it happened? Why were they not compelled?
There was white people speaking out in his favor.
Who?
Talk radio just wasn't big back then. I don't remember their names, but there was plenty.
Who?
Carmine.
When?
Carmine Guzman.
When? And where?
Back when they cracked his head.
Where? Where can I find this?
On that station's, one of them shows, whatever one he was on.
You just made that up. 100%.
No, I did not. I specifically remember him saying that.
You just made that up. 100%.
Oh, man.
You 100% just made that up.
Emanuel,
but again, Fame, the thing is, there's a reason why when these things happen, you don't hear white people stepping up talking about just move on. You don't hear that because they're like, look, they gonna defend themselves. Whatever happens, even if they don't think it's a big deal. Whatever happens, and just let it happen. It's not a big deal to me, so I'll move on. And that's what they do. Okay, let me ask you this, because you might have an answer for this. Can you point me to the white person when Kyrie Irving posted that movie? Point me to the white person who said, hey, y'all, ain't no big deal. Let's just move on. Point me to the Jewish person who said, hey, y'all, this ain't no big deal. Let's just move on.
The Young Turks?
I watched the Young Turks. They didn't say this ain't no big deal. Let's just move on.
What did they say?
They had all kind of commentary about it.
And they were in defense of Kyrie's right to have free speech.
But who said, hey, y'all, let's just move on?
Them.
No, they didn't.
Oh, well, we had maybe we had two different lenses or watched two different shows. But I specifically remember them like, this is not that big a hill of beans. It's just a damn blah, 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 blah.
Send me a link to that.
Michael Skolnick.
Send me a link to that. Send me a link to that.
I don't watch them all the time like that. I mean, I can show you. I can
send me a link.
You want to all the
send me a link to the Jewish person.
I don't watch them suckers like that all the time.
Send me a link to a Jewish person saying, no big deal, y'all. Let's move on. Let's not talk about it.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay. Well, since you took the time to Think about me on your vacation. I'm going to do that sometime over the night and send you a link, all right?
All right.
Emmanuel, as per the usual, it's been real, and I had fun. And we'll talk again sometime soon, B. You be well.
All right. That's fame. For real, y'all, I just don't understand why the need is felt to defend. Like, look, I even understand it if you like, it's not a big deal. Then don't say nothing about it. You focus on other things. You don't have to focus on the thing that's not a big deal. Guess what? When things happen that I don't think is a big deal, you don't see a post about it. You don't see, I heard Lincoln bring it up, which is the only reason that I'm actually saying this. Lincoln brought up and talked about, hold on, I'm sorry, I gotta block somebody real quick. Block that user, yeah. Lincoln brought up Pete Davidson. Guess what? I never put up a post about Pete Davidson. I don't defend Pete Davidson. I don't argue against Pete Davidson. That's not a big deal. Let's just move on. That's how it's not a big deal. Let's just move on. You move on. But if I'm on Facebook like Pete Davidson and they ain't did nothing wrong, leave him alone, I'm defending Pete Davidson. If it's not a big deal, then what? Pete Davidson ain't did a damn thing for me. Why I look like defending Pete Davidson? I don't care. So I don't talk about it. What makes you feel the need? Oh, I got to defend this man. Why? CK.
Emanuel Livingston.
Hey, what's up, CK?
Man, hey, I don't know you, but I know you. I knew, ain't no way, I know you good enough to know what side of the fence you was going to be on this issue. Now, I got to ask you, do you know me well enough to know what side of the fence I am?
No.
So you couldn't, if you had to take an educated guess.
If I had to take a guess, then you would be against Jerry Jones being a racist.
Okay, yeah, we on the same. Man, you was hitting them. You was hitting them hard with them counterpunches, like you said. Man, you said, did you catch him in a big bold-faced line? You said, I watched the Young Turks.
Right.
I was like, oh.
I do. I watched the Young Turks, and I didn't hear them not one time say, this is no big deal. Let's just move on. Now to Donald Trump. That didn't happen.
Right. Oh, so because like you said, even the white people that defended Kyrie was not defending him. They were just like, oh, man, y'all coming down to the man apologized. That was as far as they went to defend him. They just was like, oh, he apologized. You know, me and you was like, hold on. What did he do?
And
we
I
never heard.
And I have to say, I don't recall, and I don't know the religious beliefs of the few people that I watch on the Young Turks. I don't know, or their network. I don't know their religious beliefs, but I don't think I've heard a single Jewish person say, that's anti-Semitism is not that big of a deal, y'all. Let's just move on.
Like you said, that's when, like DJ Vlad, the hip hop guy, that's when you know he's on our side. If he come out there, he put out false allegations about Minister Farrakhan, said he wanted to hit him in the head with rocks, which was false, but he refused. He took the video down, but he refused to apologize, right? Now he on Kyrie and Kanye. He trying to mix them together. See, that's when you know you on our side. I say, well, just apologize to us. Since you want apologies, you know, apologize to Minister Farrakhan. You lied on that man's name. He refused to do that. A Jewish guy when he want to be, right? For making false allegations towards the Honorable Louis Farrakhan.
Okay.
He refused to apologize.
All right.
So that's the only way, like you said, that's when you know they on our team. Like, oh, if you see a Jewish person defend Kyrie Irving, you be like, oh, well, he really loves black people. Because I ain't seen not one.
I haven't seen not one. Yeah, you're right.
And then when you watch the Stephen A. Smith, this is the thing you got to watch. Did you hear Molly? Molly said, oh, it's so good to hear you guys have grace when y'all could have just went the other way, which was proving your point. Like, Damn, I didn't even know this was defendable until I heard the black people speak. She didn't even know. She said it like, y'all could have fell on the other side of the fence. But you showed him grace. That's so honorable. I said, B-word, you was just the one condemning Kyrie last week. That's what I said. I'm like, she just was condemning him for doing absolutely nothing. I wouldn't mind defending somebody that was innocent, but he's clearly guilty from the picture. That's all we need to see. You got caught with your hand in the cookie jar.
Right. Right.
Yeah, if he was innocent, then I'm like, if they said he went to the school or something, I'm like, oh, I don't mean that. He just went to that school. But you got him at the protest? Oh, he caught. He was there, like you said, he was there threatening ministers. We want to see the people that was against it. He's supposed to be on the black people's side. Like, nah, y'all leave him alone. And the other point about you made about if they showed you a picture and said, do you think he's racist? This guy has showed you nothing but racism his whole football career. He hasn't showed you nothing but, he just said he helped. Did you hear him defend him? He said he helped Michael Irvin.
That's what he said.
These people will say, how could he be racist when he pays black people millions of dollars? And I just chuckle out of my seat. Listen, this is their rationale. They said, he can't be racist. He pays black people millions of dollars. I said, well, black people make him billions of dollars. He really has no choice if you want to be competitive in this league.
True.
You know what I mean? It's just, this is great. Stephen A. showed you after he kicked Kyrie while he was down. Like you said, we can't even defend our own people. We can't even defend our own people, but we gonna come out there and defend Jerry Jones.
Yeah. And that's why my whole question is, look, people, you can view a thing however you want to view it. Like if Fame or anybody else looks at this and says, this is just a distraction, I'm not even going to get caught up in it. Cool. You clearly, you got a right to have that point of view. Clearly. Mm-hmm. But why do you have to come out? Because when you come out and you say that, you sending a message. And yes, it's a message in defense of Jerry Jones. So why? Why not just keep that? And again, I'm not saying you can't post it. My question though is why post it? Knowing, unless you're just like, I'm ignorant. I don't know. I think I post in a vacuum and the things that I defend are, nobody sees it, nobody hears it, and it has no effect on anyone. But clearly that's not the case.
Yep. I think it's clearly not the case because I believe that when you defend those type of people, I think you are showing your love for racist people. You like those type of people. Like, man, I love my slave master. You know what I mean? That's the type of rhetoric you are spewing. You like, man, cause those are the type of people that don't like black people. You know what I mean? When you defend a Jerry Jones or the guy that killed George Floyd,
I don't know.
They don't like black people.
See, I don't know. I don't know, CK, if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree that they don't like black people. I just think there are some people who, for whatever reason, and that's what I'm really trying to understand, genuinely, I'm trying to understand it, for whatever reason, they feel the need to defend white people every time they get the chance. So it's not, I don't like black people. It's, I really love white people so much so that right. I got to defend them. And a lot of times that does translate into some sort of self-hate or something of that nature. But I can't say that that's always the case.
Well, from Stephen A. Smith's action, he clearly looks at their side as superior. He looks at them as superiors, and he looks at his own people as inferior. So he don't have the same energy for a Kyrie Irving. I think Kyrie Irving action was much more defendable if we took race all the way away. What if Jerry Jones did what he did and Kyrie did what he did? I think it's easier if you're just going with right or wrong and not even using race. You just, like you said, when you open up your platform, you said these people give the white people like, damn, they got us. And then the brothers give you a loophole like, well, I guess we can defend him.
Yeah.
See, they didn't even know it was defendable till Stephen A. opened. Molly said, "Oh my God, you showing grace when you could have went the other way."
CK,
I'm like, where's the grace for Kyrie?
yeah. CK, I gotta run.
Yes, sir.
I'm so overtime. I appreciate your call. I know Wyatt is coming up. So I definitely want y'all to check out Wyatt. I'm just gonna mention this and then I gotta go, y'all. I was reading a story about y'all favorite movie director, Quentin Tarantino. There's a story circulating where Quentin Tarantino, he's pushing back on the people who's pushing back on him on the N-word. And Quentin Tarantino is saying, hey, if you don't like me using the N-word, then maybe my movies just ain't for you. And of course, you got Samuel L. Jackson in there talking about how you gonna tell this man he can't use the N-word? His movies wouldn't be realistic if he didn't use the N-word. Like, these people are... Now, didn't we just get into this big thing about Kyrie Irving posting a link to a movie? He didn't make the movie. He didn't write the movie. He watched the movie and he said, hey, check out this movie. But the dude who writing the movie, directing the movie, promoting the movie is telling you, oh, I'm going to call you an N. I'm going to call you the N-word. And if you don't like it, N, don't watch my movie. And of course, on cue, you got some black person defending some white person. I don't understand it. Y'all, I don't understand this. Quentin Tarantino been making N-word movies for a minute. He's had plenty of people to defend him using that word. But here, I want y'all to hear what I hear. What I hear from Quentin Tarantino is black hate is okay. Like legit, I'm going to write some hateful stuff about black people. I'm going to cast black people in stereotypical roles. I'm going to call them the N-word. Black hate is okay. Being anti-black is cool. Right after the world just finished saying, let's do something about anti-Semitism. Now we got two examples of blatant anti-black racism. Jerry Jones and Quentin Tarantino, and not necessarily the world, but black people were saying, some black people, let's just move on. Let them do what they do. Ain't that big of a deal. Let them be real. Let them be great. And you're not going to see Quentin Tarantino get no significant pushback. I don't remember exactly where I saw this article. But yeah, it's an article where Quentin Tarantino says, if you don't like me using the N-word, then my movies ain't for you. So it's all right for him to do this. But it ain't all right for Kyrie Irving to post a link to a movie. It's frustrating and maddening. Because I think for some people, to tie the strings together, they don't tie together. Some people look at all of this stuff as like totally different stuff. Well, I mean, one is an artistic thing, and you can't compare that to a guy posting hate-filled rhetoric. They're apples and jaguars. They're not even in the same ballpark. I see anti-somebody and anti-somebody. That's if you accept that I still haven't seen the movie, but I'll accept that there was some anti-Semitic stuff for the sake of argument. I'll accept that there was some anti-Semitic stuff in that movie. So anti-Semitic and anti-black. But you can't compare those. They're not the same. If the world went bonkers to see Kyrie Irving, no, I'm not bringing up Kanye West, because that's a whole issue in itself. If the world went bonkers because Kyrie Irving posted a link to a movie, but the world is okay with the dude writing a movie calling you the N-word 100 times, and he says, not I'm trying to learn, not I'm trying to grow, not I didn't endorse anything in the movie, not I didn't agree with everything in there, but I thought it was thought-provoking. No, he says, if you don't like it, don't watch my shit. And then you got some black people like, yeah, that Quentin Tarantino. Oh, yeah, he should be able to make whatever he want to make, and people shouldn't say nothing about it. I don't understand. I don't understand it. And since I brought up Kanye, I know I got to get out of here, but since I brought him up, for all of the pro-Kanye people, hold on, but now you know that this dude is hanging out with a white supremacist. If nothing else, he's given this white supremacist access to more money and power. Because you say what you want to say, but right now Donald Trump is a powerful figure in politics in America. This might not be the best thing, but he gave him access to him. Who do you bring along with you to give access? Who do you pull up? What is wrong with people? I'm going to tell you this about me. I got nothing against white people. I really don't. And I'm thinking about different stuff. Chad at the radio station. Chad's a cool dude. Like, for real. Chad's a cool dude. And if Chad asks me for something, you know what I'm saying? If I can help Chad out, I'll help Chad out. And I'm not saying that Chad wanted to. But when a young black woman basically said to me, I really want to find a way to get my toe in this door of this radio thing. It was nothing for me to say to that black woman, well, when you think of something, chime in. You come on the show, you develop your voice and your personality on the show, and now you got your toe in the door. And then wedge that bitch open as far as you can and become whatever it is that you can become. Live up to your fullest potential. Because if I'm going to pull somebody through this door with me, now, not that I wouldn't help Chad. If Chad said, hey, yo, I need to, I get through the door. Anybody else? Anybody back there? Yeah, Chad, come on. But if Chad is like, hey, can you help me through this door? And then the sister is like, Raven, hey, can you help me through this door? I'm like, look, come on, Raven, I got you. Chad, I'm going to do my best. But if I got one e-ticket, that's a long story, but if I got one e-ticket to let somebody through the door, just one, I'm sorry, Chad. And I love and respect you. But if I can let one person through the door, it's going to be a brother or a sister if I can only do one. If I can do multiple and you there, come on in. But if I can only do one. So if you tell me, hey, Emanuel, you get to have an audience with Joe Biden. Like, for real? Yeah. You get to have an audience with Joe Biden, and you get to bring somebody. That can't be your wife or nothing like that. There's got to be somebody that you want to, introduce and give access to political influence and power. You gonna give somebody access to political influence and power. Who you bringing? I don't know right now, but I can guarantee you it ain't gonna be no white supremacist. I can guarantee you that. So for y'all, Kanye is a genius. Kanye is that. Kanye brought a white supremacist to give him more access to political power, influence, and money. You ever been in a situation where you're like, hey, I tell these stories just because they pop in my head. When Marvin Lewis first got hired on as a coach for the Cincinnati Bengals, and his first interview that he did with the Primetime Sports Show, Wayne Miller, Eric E.T. Thomas. But before the show, before Marvin showed up, it was some brothers in the studio. I'm like, I don't know who them brothers are. Like, what? Wayne Box Miller had brought some brothers in the studio, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Well, when Marvin shows up, and Marvin does a segment, and they go to commercial, Wayne's like, hey, Marvin, this is so-and-so. I don't remember none of their name. He's a barber here in Cincinnati. He's, well known. He's a master barber, blah, 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 blah. Here's my card. All right, nice to meet you. Here is another guy that I know. He's why can't I think of the name? People to deal with. Taylor. He's a tailor. Yeah, I'm a whatever tailor, and I custom make this and this and this and that. Then, all right, yeah, because I don't know nobody, so it's nice to know where I can go to get certain things done. And I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna lie, I would have been mad at Wayne if he'd had a couple white dudes in there, like, oh yes, this is a barber that I know. This is a tailor that I know. And no. He's trying to turn this black man onto some black people and they can network. He's bringing them to access to money and opportunity. That's who he brought and gave access to money and opportunity. And that, I respected. I was like, that's hot. That's the kind of stuff I like to see. He didn't bring a white supremacist. Y'all got to get off this Kanye thing. I know y'all like him. Y'all think he's a great rapper. He brought a white supremacist. All right, I got to run. Somebody said Wyatt said he wasn't going to be on. I didn't see that. And so if he's on, I apologize, Wyatt. I apologize for going over. Kind of going over, but I started late. Y'all know how it is. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Well, I still got CK up there. CK ain't there. CK gone. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me for a few minutes. And that's really about it. Until next time. It's been the Afternoon Experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I hope something amazing happens to you. It's still time today. Something life changing, all right? Till next time. I'm out, y'all.